So in part 1, part 2, once again I revise modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 equals to modulus of z1 minus z2, that equals to k we supposed. So in this case z and z1 are collinear because of in one case the locus is here in the direction of z2 to z1. The other case the locus is here in the direction of z1 to z2 outside of the line segment z1 z2. Now here the next case is what happens if k is not equal to modulus of z1 minus z2. So if k not equal to modulus of z1 minus z2, then obviously z comma z1 comma z2 are non-collinear, not collinear, they are not collinear. So therefore they will form a triangle. Suppose z1 is located here and z2 here, join z1 and z2 by a line. Now z is somewhere which is not on the line. So suppose z is here. Suppose the point z is not on the line, somewhere z located. Now if I join z and z1, the distance between z and z1 is modulus of z minus z1. Now the distance between z and z2 modulus of z minus z2. So we know a property, a basic property of a triangle is what? The difference of any two sides is less than the third side. So therefore modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 should be less than the third side. So third side is what? This is the line joining z1 and z2. So the distance between the length of this side is the distance between the point z1 and z2. So that is modulus of z1 minus z2. So therefore whenever z and z1 z2 are not collinear, it satisfies the condition modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 is less than the modulus of z1 minus z2. So therefore if we say like in the beginning modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 equals to k, where k is not equals to modulus of z1 minus z2, then we must have k, because of here we have modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2, which I supposed as k. So therefore this will become k. The left hand side is k, now I supposed is less than modulus of z1 minus z2. So if k is less than modulus of z1 minus z2, then what is the locus? Now we may get a doubt. If k is greater than modulus of z1 minus z2, what happens? So if k is greater than modulus of z1 minus z2, we want to say that the difference of any two sides is more than the third side, which is obviously wrong. So therefore there is no such points exists satisfying the condition modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 is greater than modulus of z1 minus z2. So we omit this case. Now we will discuss about k is less than modulus of z1 minus z2. Now you see. Now again modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 equals to k with condition k is less than modulus of z1 minus z2. So what is this? Now you see, if I speak in words this condition, the mathematical condition modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 equals to k. If I speak in words, the locus of z such that the distances difference from z1 comma z2 is a fixed value k, okay. So the difference of the distances from a variable point from two fixed points z1 and z2 is always a fixed value. So this is the property we have in hyperbola. So in a hyperbola we have a condition, we know in conics sp minus s dash p equals to 2a, where 2a denotes actually the distance between the vertices. So therefore here by this condition we can say that the locus of z is a hyperbola. Again, if z locus is hyperbola, what are z1 comma z2? Because of those two fixed points are called in hyperbola foci. So therefore z1 comma z2 are foci of the hyperbola. Now we know the distance between foci is equal to 2ae, therefore modulus of z1 minus z2 is equals to 2ae. Here e is eccentricity which is more than 1. Now what is this? Sp minus s dash p is equal to 2a. So what is here Sp minus s dash p? The difference of the distances. What is the difference of the distances? Modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2, which we are supposing as k. So therefore our value 2a equals to k. So therefore here 2a equals to k. Then once you divide these two to get the eccentricity, so e is equals to 2ae by 2a, that equals to 2ae is modulus of z1 minus z2 by k. So here this is the formula to find out eccentricity whenever we know the locus of z is a hyperbola according to the condition modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 equals to k. Now you see what we discussed in part 1 and part 2, part 3. Now here whenever modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus modulus of z minus z1 minus modulus of z minus z2 equals to k, then what is the locus of z, which is depend on k. Now here we have three different cases. Now if I say k is equals to modulus of z1 minus z2, then what is the locus? Locus is a ray. If k is not equal to modulus of z1 minus z2, then what is the meaning of this? K is not equal to modulus of z1 minus z2 means either k is less than modulus of z1 minus z2 or k is greater than modulus of z1 minus z2. So therefore we can divide into two cases. K is less than modulus of z1 minus z2 and k is greater than modulus of z1 minus z2. If k is less than modulus of z minus z2, then the locus of z will be hyperbola with eccentricity e is equal modulus of z1 minus z2 by k. If k is greater than modulus of z1 minus z2, by our earlier discussion, there is no such point exists. So therefore the locus, the set of locus, the set of all points will be the empty set because of there is no such z exists. If you like this video, subscribe my channel. Thank you.